So, when most of us load up in a world, we're probably not thinking too much about storage. We kind of just throw stuff into a box and leave it there. But if you continue to play in a world, it becomes a hassle when you have a bunch of these boxes full of items and you can't find anything. Or you spend all day looking through chests to find one thing. The solution has been to make automated sorting systems, usually using this very popular redstone component called an item filter, which was invented by ImpulseSV, and used by many other popular content creators such as Mumbo Jumbo, Grian, Etho, DocM77, and others on the Hermitcraft server. Instead of making some sort of redstone contraption, I'm just going to show you the way I store my stuff. I recently finished recording for an SMP, which if you're curious, it's called Yeehaw SMP. And once you're done with this video, you should go and check it out. I played on that server for about 3 months, so I used my storage system on there as a model for creating this new storage system, and here it is. It is 18 double chests, 6 rows of 3, and the reason why I made it this way is, well, it's small enough to fit into most starter houses, but large enough to fit a lot of items that you want to keep stored and organized properly. If you want to add signs or item frames to each chest to label what's inside, that's up to you, but I find that makes it a little bit frustrating to access the chests behind them. Instead, I like the approach of just putting a block at the bottom that sort of resembles what is stored in each column, and if a chest in that column is different, I'll put it up at the top, where I can then put a sign or an item frame to define it. But before we go into what's inside, I would like to take a second to ask that if you like this content, you should totally like the video and subscribe. Totally like the video and subscribe and hit that bell button. It really helps out the channel, and there's lots more videos coming out to entertain you or provide tips and tricks about Minecraft. I tried to organize this as best as I could for the average player. For example, look at the sea pickle. One could argue that this is a block that creates light, so it goes with the other light creating blocks, like torches or glowstone. But this is also something you find underwater, so it should be with the underwater blocks like coral or prismarine. But it also is a plant, so it should be with the saplings and flowers. So I tried my best to define where each item should go by the most generalized viewpoint of what it is. Okay, so starting on the right side, I basically have all the stone variation blocks as is defined by the cobblestone on the floor here. And just to clarify, the exact order of where these chests are placed in this array, or where certain items are in these boxes, is up to you to change. The way I have organized it is just the way I feel comfortable with it. So you could change the cobblestone and put it at the end. Maybe your door is over there, or maybe your bed is over here, or you want the organic blocks or the purpur blocks, you want it to be in a different area, you can change that. The top box in this column is mainly stone, stone brick, some smooth stone, mossy stone brick, tough, polished tough, and tough brick. These blocks color-wise all fit a lighter tone, so that's another reason why they're all in the same box. Because maybe you'd want to build something, and in this box is a whole bunch of similar blocks you can use for any design you want. In each slot there is one block, mainly for aesthetics, but in your storage there would obviously be more items in each slot. The one under that is probably where a lot of the stone you mine will go, pre-Silk Touch enchantment. You got cobble, mossy cobble, gravel, andesite, diorite, and granite. There's also mud here, mainly because I felt like it belonged here, and there wasn't really a better place for it in my opinion. If you can think of a better place for it, leave a comment below. And next we have the deep slate one. This block is nice to use in a lot of different designs. It's much darker, so it's on the bottom, but since now it makes up the bottom of the world, after you play on a server for a while, you end up getting so much of it that including it in the same box as cobble or just regular stone won't cut it. It would definitely overflow. Back up at the top of the next row, we got the chest that stores all your precious items. Since it doesn't match this block down here, there's a sign showing that it's different. We got all the ores and resources from them, upgrade template, golden apples, amethyst stuff, basically anything that is something that you would like to guard or is hard to get. Some of the newer stuff from 121 like trial keys, ominous bottles, or heavy cores are things that are highly sought after, so they're right here when you need them. I also put the skulk stuff here, not really because it's like super precious or anything, but it's kind of hard to get, you know, dodging the warden and all that in the deep dark. The next chest under that is for logs, planks, stairs, and slabs. We got all of the 9 variants of the trees that you can find in the overworld, and if you're wondering where the nether woods are, they'll show up a little bit later. The chest at the bottom of this is just like the other, another chest of wood-styled blocks. It's mainly wooden blocks that, when you craft them, there's always leftovers. You know, like crafting a door gives you 3 doors. I rarely ever need 3 doors, yet that's the recipe for some reason, so I always have a surplus of doors, or fences, or signs, or trapdoors. So when you craft any of this stuff, the rest of the stuff that you don't need will go right in here. At the start of the next column is a chest filled with all of the mob drops. Basically any items that drop when mobs have been slain or brushed or bred, with the exception of name tags and leads, which you pretty much use on mobs, so you might as well put them here. Also, alternative drops are here like cobweb, flint, and honey, which either drop from a block or are gathered with shears or glass bottles. After that, we got a chest full of organic stuff, hence why there is a hay bale on the floor. It's meant to represent plants and growing and, just more of the organic stuff. Here we have all the saplings, flowers, grass, mushrooms, and other vegetation, plus some bone meal to help it all grow. Underneath the box with all the plants in it is the box with all the soil-looking blocks in it. We got sand, sandstone, dirt, podzol, mycelium, and grass blocks. I threw in dripstone as well, mainly because it looks like dirt, and the dripstone itself does technically grow, so There are also torches in here so that your farms are properly lit for stuff to grow. I've also included some of the colorless blocks that you can dye to make different colored blocks, like the regular terracotta, glass panes, and tinted glass is here as well. The next three chests are pretty obvious, as shown by what block represents them in this column on the floor. These chests are filled with all the different colored blocks. At the top, we have concrete powder and concrete. Also, the coral is in here, coral blocks and fans, and a few dead coral blocks as well that are used a lot in different designs. The coral blocks are mainly used for design, so that's why they're here instead of the underwater box or anything else like that. Under that, we got all the colors of the wool and glass, and below that, instead of adding glass panes, we have all the colors of terracotta, all the dyes, and all the glazed terracotta. After the colors are over, we got the food box. This here includes all of the food that needs to be crafted or cooked, with the exception of apples. But the reason why other foods aren't in this box is usually because they are stored in chests near their farms. Like a wheat farm will have seeds and wheat in a chest near that farm, so that it's easy to harvest and replant without having to deal with tons of items in your inventory. And apples don't really have a farm in the same way that other plantable foods do. This box is divided into sections. We have the meats and fish, the fruits and vegetables, the bowled dishes, and the breads and pastries. After visiting the Nether, you get a bunch of random blocks that don't fit anywhere else in your storage system, so they deserve their own box or two. Here in this one, we have netherrack, quartz, soul sand and soil, glowstone, and the nether tree logs / planks, shroom lights, magma blocks, crying obsidian, and respawn anchors. But if, let's say, you visited a nether fortress or a bastion remnant, you'll probably have an even more annoying array of blocks that you have gotten from those structures, whether digging through them or just using the blocks to help defend yourself from the mobs. This is the box where you'll find those. We got nether bricks, red nether bricks, basalt, obsidian, and blackstone and all of its variants. Now we get to some of the boxes that act more a bit like hybrid boxes, meaning they have more than one category of blocks or items inside of them. In this one at the top, we have all of the ingredients for brewing and the different types of potions. Plus, there's a lot of blocks and items related to redstone, and just general minecart and rail related stuff as well. And here, we have a chest with all of the end blocks, like endstone, purpur, the chorus items, and end rods, plus some of the same wood variants as the wood chests from before, but for the warped and crimson wood, along with a few other end-related items like dragon heads, the dragon egg, and ender chests. And I've also included anvils, stone cutters, and ominous banners, items that I either end up needing more of or end up having more than I need. And the last box is mostly an anything box. On the left, I got 3 rows for the copper blocks and their variants, because of how much you'll probably end up getting them digging through the trial chambers. But the rest of this box is for whatever else you don't have space for, essentially a miscellaneous box. But here's an example of what you could put in here that you wouldn't really put in any other boxes. There's armor, tools, weapons, extra elytra, mace, crossbow, fishing rod, saddle, totem, trident, horn, and a whole bunch of other things. This last box is basically more of a, this is what I would put in here, but you might put something completely different, so go nuts! The blocks that didn't make the cut are in this chest here. Mainly, I didn't put these blocks or items into my storage because usually they are a part of a farm that has its own storage that I just leave near the farm. Mainly because the farm produces so many items that I just wouldn't be able to fit it in my main storage system. The rest of the items that aren't part of farms are really just items that personally I don't usually gather in my worlds when I play. But that might be different for you, so maybe you could put those items into the miscellaneous box, or maybe you could find another place for them in any of the other boxes. Chances are you're not really going to be needing a 100,000 sub YouTuber style storage system because you don't need an insane amount of blocks to build for content in a YouTube video. You're just a normal person playing Minecraft and having fun. So For the entire time you're playing in your world, before you want to restart, this will probably be enough space to store all the items you will ever need. But if you feel like I've missed any items or blocks that deserve to be in the main storage, or have any alternative layouts that you think would also be good, put it down in the comment section. I'm actually kind of curious as to what other ways people store their items in Minecraft. I mean, I've been playing Minecraft for a very long time, so usually what I think is good in Minecraft is pretty much good because I've been playing the game so long, so I've practiced all the different types. But I mean, who knows? Maybe one of you guys will have some sort of cool advice in the comments. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'll put that in my next video. I don't know. But with all that being said, this is the end of the episode. If you like what you watch, click that like button. And if you want to see more, definitely subscribe. See you guys in the next video.